What's up, everybody? Nick from Run the Foot Market here today, bringing you guys episode 2 of the Trading Talk, a new podcast that started last week. First week, we were joined by Elite. We talked about some market. Today, we're going to do a little bit of everything. We're joined by the great guest, ChuBoi. Welcome, man.
Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. It's
No worries, man.
I enjoy nothing but talk about FIFA. That's what I do for a living, so I'll keep going.
Exactly, man. We got a lot of good things to talk about today, guys. A lot of different things to look at for next year. We're excited, man. We're definitely excited. I'm really happy to have him on. The first thing I think we're going to go over that we were most excited about was the new ones, the watch cards next year, how it's going to affect the market in the beginning and all that. So what's your first take on the new ones, the watches we're going to see, like Lukaku and all those guys, man?
I mean, first two things. I mean, one, I think the player selection is already way better than FIFA 17. I think this transfer market so far has just been ridiculous. So we're going to get some ridiculous one to watch. I think Neymar one to watch is probably the best one to watch ever already in just one card.
Yeah.
The second thing, I mean, at first, when they first showed the one to watch card design on FUT Live, I actually didn't like the condensed version of it.
Yeah.
But when I saw like the bigger version of it, I'm like, all right, it looks pretty sick. So, you know how it is with people. Change. One thing I've always known as, former community manager of FIFA is that people don't like change.
Yeah.
You know, every year I've been community manager. Everybody said the card design was the worst card design ever.
Yeah.
So it can't be right. It's just that, people, it takes them a couple months and then, they like the new card design and they hate the last one.
Exactly.
People just don't like change. Watch, I guarantee you, 2 weeks after the game comes out, everybody will say the card design looks cool.
I agree, man. And that was the same with me. I just didn't want to say anything about it. Because I knew my opinion would change when I first saw especially the icon design, man.
Yeah.
I was like, ew. I waited 1 week, man.
The icon design is just the colors, I think, not necessarily the design.
Exactly.
The colors throw people.
And then I started seeing all those concepts of like the informs, and then we saw the Foot Live, right? And the informs looked so sick, and that's why I like to wait, man, because I feel like Twitter is very quick on the jump, as you probably know right away when you're making a change. This is the worst thing ever, worst corporation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. Every FIFA I worked on was the worst FIFA ever. I think that's kind of why I did it. I mean, that's part of why I stopped wanting to be a community manager, especially for FIFA. Is that I don't want my life to be run by random opinions of people on Twitter. I mean, the good thing about working at EA and seeing all that stuff on Twitter is that now there's very few people's opinions I care about, because you just have to block a lot of it out on Twitter because it's just people trying to, put their impression of something on you, and then that changes your mindset on it. But to the people watching this podcast, I don't care what you think about FIFA. Sorry to be mean, but you know what I mean? Because I spent 3.5-4 years of my life caring about what everyone thought about FIFA. And it's like, finally, I don't have to care anymore. It's just, hey, I like what I like in FIFA. I think what I think in FIFA, and it's been very relaxing since I've left. It's been very relaxing.
Man. Yeah. And going off what you said about Neymar being potentially like the biggest one ever, probably better than Pogba from this year. I think his market value for the first few weeks. And going into in general, I mean, listen, let's face the facts. He's going to get an inform. He's probably going to get many.
He's going to get like 10. Yeah,
exactly.
He's going to get one every 2 weeks.
So it's a good look, honestly. I think all of us, the guys who are going to be, generating coins early on and stuff like that, if he's not too inflated and too high in price right away, if you're taking a look at it and you might want to take a stab at him, I would say you might be making a good investment, just because
you're right.
That guy is going to get upgraded so much, especially when his card is looking like a 94 or 95 after a few informs, and it's only November. So definitely a huge addition. I think I love the addition of Lacazette transferring. I love that because I do think he has the potential, as well as Lukaku, to rack up some goals next year and definitely get some inform. So I think those ones to watch cards could be great looks. There's also guys like Semedo. I mean, there was the whole somebody did a little Reddit thing I saw the other day. It was nothing confirmed. Was nice. You saw that, right? It was like
shout out to Reddit. I don't miss those guys either, but shout out to them.
But yeah, man, it's exciting. It looks like more of an exciting year where we don't have to deal with guys like Gagliardini and we have guys like Semedo and fun ones to watch cards. Good, better teams. Exactly. In my opinion, more teams that are on TV to be watching. And I think as a marketing pitch from EA, with getting people involved, they had the LSBCs this year. That's a whole new thing. With ones to watches, it's like a whole other part of Ultimate Team. You could classify it as trading, but at the same point, you have to kind of you got to either have the best notifications in the world, or you got to be watching the games to be doing well and making a lot of money with those.
Exactly. Honestly, just the one to watch live is like the coolest thing ever. I think trading wise and in FUT, the fact that, imagine if you're into one to watch, is the amount of leagues you start watching. I mean, that's the reason why I really got into FUT, is because I remember it hit me in like FUT 13 when I realized I loved FUT. I started, I played with Gundogan. He was non-rare, and I thought he was so good. I started watching Bundesliga because I'm like, yo, when's this guy gonna get in for him? Yeah. And then I wanted to trade with him, like that. So it's like, if you're into one to watch, imagine all the leagues that it lets you start watching, that you start getting interested in, and it's just one of the joys of Ultimate Team. Now, the thing with one to watch is FIFA 18 is that, all right, 17, even I didn't really know what to do with one to watches at the start, but I feel
a lot of
like
people were confused.
Exactly, right? And then people saw it's probably the best way, the best cards to trade with the past year. But now everybody kind of knows that. And like you were saying before, are they going to be way overpriced at the start? Especially people like Neymar. And then what's that going to do? But are they still are the big ones still going to go up? So even if Neymar starts at freaking, want to watch Neymar starts at I don't know, what could he be, 1.5 mil?
It's gonna be interesting. What we were doing in the streams for the past few weeks, my guys and I, we're done with the FIFA 17 trading. I mean, there's nothing to trade for anymore, right? So we started doing this thing where we're looking at different types of players this year and looking at what they did in the beginning of the game. So what we're really seeing is that what happens is the first day, obviously no one really has coins, man. Unless you're Bateson, who's going to have a ton of coins. The rest of, even the traders, none of us are going to have coins. We're all going to be trying to work for that. That first few days. So what happens actually, basically most players in the beginning of the game reach their Ultimate Team peaks 2 weeks after the game release, the full game release. On every single player, it was exactly October 9th last year for every single guy. The market was at an all-time high for the whole year.
Because I made 200K on Pogba on that weekend.
So I think in terms of if you have any way of investing in a guy like ones to watch Neymar, especially if you see him going down in the first week or something, you got to know that there's going to probably be a rebound at some point 2 or 3 weeks after that. It's not going to be the exact same trend as last year, but it's good to use these trends to kind of understand. Now, talking about a price value, I mean, I don't even think he's going to be sellable in the first few weeks because I think everyone's going to
hold the fuck on.
Yeah. I mean, no one's going to pack him, or people are going to be listing him so exponentially high because they think he's at a certain value when they got to realize, no one really has coins yet. So it is going to be interesting to see how those big guys on the ones to watch side hold their price because, as you said, man, a lot of people in the beginning and even in the winter, man, I know when I was trading with ones to watch guys, I mean, there was guys that thought ones to watch cards counted for cup games, which we don't know if that's going to be different this year, but people still didn't know that, so they were buying the card if John Stones was scoring in a cup match, and he would not get it in for him because it was a cup match, not a league match. So stuff like that, a lot of people now know kind of what to do. So it's going to be interesting to see if certain guys are just way too inflated before their games, and if you're willing to kind of take that big risk, it might be a lot more risky than it was this year.
Exactly. And actually, I have a couple questions. One, that October 9th date, was that the first week of Weekend League? And two, how long were one to watches available at the start? Was that for a week?
So they had to be at least 1 week, I do believe. There was possible that they went 2 weeks. I don't know if they went the full 2 weeks. I know that I'm pretty sure the guys, maybe the guys in the stream today said that they were out right when the game came out. Like, they put them out right away.
Uh-huh.
So that's what the guy said. They were out right in packs, right when everyone was shredding through their FIFA points right away. I think that's when they were out. I think they were with all those.
Yeah, it came out not EA access date, but like retail launch, like when the game is out.
And then I do believe
that's when it was
for Weekend League, you were asking about that. I think October was the first. I think
that was the first Weekend League. Right?
I think the October was the first Weekend League because I do remember there was, I think 4 Weekend Leagues that month, and they started it. I think they made the announcement last week of September about it, right? And then they did it the first week of October, and that's why you saw that drastic rise. So that could be leading to people, maybe the trends being different this year now because people know that's going to be happening because there's this competitive scene and all that. And we obviously know Foot Champs fueled this game into what is it now? August? Foot Champs is fueling this game right now. So it might be different, man. It could be people. Here's the deal, right? No one in the beginning of the game, the first day, unless they sit on the web app for the first, you get the web app access like 1 week early or 3 days early or something, and then there's the whole thing where you can pay extra for the early access, right? Then there's the whole game release, right? The only guys who are going to be able to afford Neymar or any of those guys in the beginning are the guys who are going to be grinding their butts off on the web app, all that stuff right away.
I'm gonna be buying a lot of packs at the start this year. I'm gonna be baiting in it next year.
And it's something I've never done, but looks like it pays out, man. If you do well with some of the packs, I've seen guys do 12 or 24K in the beginning, and players are so high in the beginning, man. We were looking like, I think Alberto Moreno last year was 5K the first week.
Oh God.
77 left back,
Exactly. I mean, and that's the thing, because I was still starting off as a streamer, so I didn't really spend too much. I maybe spent like just under $1,000, I want to say, Canadian. So that's like $600-700 American. This year definitely gonna be a lot better because it does pay off. I mean, if you do have the money to go ham, I mean, not suggesting anybody who does not have the money to do that, but if you do, I mean, if you're gonna spend anything, the best time, as we all know, is to spend at the start, the first weekend of FUT, because if you pack anything good, if you pack Pogba, if you pack Neymar, you pack Lukaku, that's the highest he's probably gonna cost. Go for on the market is in that, like you said, that second week of that first weekend league. That's gonna be the highest he's gonna go, and then you get one Pogba. I mean, you sell him, you bide your time. You sell that Pogba then, and then you wait for a couple of weeks, and then you buy Pogba back, or you wait till what's the first thing that happens? Was it Black Friday? What's the first crash?
I think Black Friday is the big one.
Black Friday, right? Yeah, you sell your Pogba, use that to fund your team. And then Black Friday crash comes up, you get Pogba back, and you still have some change left. Exactly. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be spending quite a bit more compared to last year,
and that's a big thing though in the beginning of the game, which the first month or so you should not be getting your set team going because there's going to be a lot of ideally the best way, right, to keep your coins to not lose a lot is make 2 sweat teams. You don't have to buy fitness. Just make 2, lower end sweat teams. You're going to see a lot of them in Weekend League. No one's going to have Team of the Years or anything crazy yet. So you could still play well with the teams. And then you're not having to worry about, I bought this player on the peak of Ultimate Team in October 8, and he's going down 14K 2 weeks later. I'm losing money. You're going to be doing a lot of buying players, shipping them out on Sunday because you can't really afford to hold on to players in the beginning of the game. If you look on the trends on Footbin, they're all over the place. They're like mountains up and down. They look like awful erosion. So it's something that in the beginning of the game you guys got to be really careful with getting one team you want to hold on to. I'm just going to run 2 sweat teams. I'm going to have Musa up in there. I'm going to have a 1 BPL team.
Oh, God.
If Musa's a silver, then we're going to be talking something different. But listen, another thing, just to go on a side note, just really quick, another thing we went over from the stream today, man, was consumables in the beginning of the game and keeping them or investing in them. I talked about this with you like 10 minutes ago about the web app. You get that whole extra I don't know what it is, man. The web app's always flaky though when it comes out that first week because everyone's trying to get on and open their packs for being loyal.
Dude, so I know that more than anyone, man. I've lived through 4 of those. Oh God.
It takes like an hour to get on, and then it says it's not ready yet. You got to reload and try again at 3 in the morning. So, but the thing is, man, if you could get on that web app, we were talking about it in the stream. We think the safest investment is to buy fitness cards.
Because there's no use for it if the game's not out, right?
Exactly, man. And the web app comes out so much earlier than anything. because the early access doesn't even come out for I think it's 3 days before the 29th, which is the official release. Then you only get 10 hours, if I do remember correctly, on the game. You get 10 hours for those 3 days or something. I don't know, something like that. But essentially, that you have that whole week of web app where no one's going to be touching consumables. So maybe hunter cards, shadow cards, all that stuff, man. It might be good to stock up on, and something you could flip 2 weeks later and make a good amount of money.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe 2 weeks later, and also because I'm wondering if like people have early web app access, then EA access comes out. So I'm wondering, EA access, the Batons, the Mees, the Castros. I mean, everybody's smashing a ton of packs. That might be also a good time to buy the consumables because it's going to be an oversaturation of consumables. Because, again, we're not going to have any special packs. It's just going to be like the 7.5Ks. Maybe not an 8050. Yeah, maybe not
some jumbos.
But, I mean, I don't know if they did that. So a lot of consumables out there. And you can play, 10 hours EA access? But you can't play Weekend League yet. So maybe that's also another good time to pick up some consumables. Is during that, that EA access period where everybody's just like, the whales are smashing packs and nobody really has a use for fitness cards. And then save them to the Weekend League.
In drafts too, man, in the beginning of the game. If you guys have FIFA points, right, and you want to know a way to efficiently spend them, drafts are probably your best friend for that first week. Just because what we were talking about, where there's 77 Merinos going for 5K and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah,
that's true. You can get through 2 wins on that online draft. If you are a good enough player, I would say 2 wins or 3 wins is probably equivalent to you could probably do that if you're a gold player in the Weekend League, right?
True.
If you could do that and the draft rewards, right, you're going to probably get back, if you win 2 or 3 games, you'll probably get back 40K or 50K of pack rewards rather than just dropping 300 FIFA points on 2 7.5K packs. You have the chance to put your FIFA points to kind of a better efficient value. Now, I know it takes longer because you obviously have to go play games to get packs, and some people are just going to be in a rush to open them up, but that could be an efficient way if you're looking to get games done. And I'm saying, right, because you get the 10 hours of access, right, why not just play games on draft? There's no reason to go into seasons unless there's some surpriser that we figure out in a few weeks. I don't think seasons rewards are going to be much different. It's going to be the same thing where it's just, grind up to D1, but it's the same coin reward, no packs or anything from seasons. So I do believe that drafts would probably be your best friend in the early access. I don't know. Can you put FIFA points on during the early access or no?
EA access, yes, you can have. If you can play it on console, you can get FIFA points.
Okay, so then that's probably your best friend to do that, man. When the early access comes out.
Yeah, if it's on you're starting the game on web app or companion app, then you cannot buy FIFA points. But if you have any form of the game on console, that's not the demo, obviously, with access to the store, then you can probably buy FIFA points. Now I'm wondering, so there's EA access and then there's the Ronaldo, the Icon Edition early access. Is that for all platforms, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that means that's a lot better than last year because early access is what? 3 days before EA access is 3 days before early access. So that means you can because those 10 hours go by really fast.
Yep.
So I mean,
fast.
10 hours in 3 days, that's not the worst because before it was 10 hours for a week.
Yeah, I think it was that before.
Yeah, and I was freaking struggling on that one. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all, actually.
No, it's not. And I'm not gonna do the. I don't think I'm gonna be doing the Ronaldo whatever the highest edition is where it gives you 40 packs. I'm not doing the 40 packs one in the loan cards. I'm gonna save that extra money. I think it's a 20 in American currency. I think it's a $20 or a $40 difference between the one. There's 3 versions, right? You got your standard.
Yeah.
There's the one above it, and then there's the highest one, which is I don't know which one that is, right? But I'm gonna do the one in the middle because then that one still gives you access, and that's all I need, man. And I'm probably gonna just put whatever the differential is between the highest version and the middle one. I'm gonna put that into FIFA points and just throw it on the account.
Yeah, exactly. And I recommend that to other people who are probably listening. I mean, something EA needs to do. Because the method that they're delivering packs, it's a bit archaic. I mean, they're doing 2 a week for 40 weeks or whatever, or 20 weeks.
Yeah.
And by the 20th week, the value of the pack has dropped in half. I think one thing they need to start doing is just doing the icon edition, but you get a heavy discount on FIFA points. I mean, that's all we want. We just want to. I mean, we still want to spend money.
Exactly.
But we
They're
don't
still
want
gonna
to
get their
wait for
money.
the packs. Exactly. They still get their money. I mean, you give us a nice little discount, maybe like a 30% off FIFA points, 40% off, like a little bundle of FIFA points to go with the pre-order. I think. I mean, I think they'll see. I don't know. I feel one thing they'll start to see is just, if the pre-order sales for the Ronaldo edition or the Icon edition aren't that good, then they'll have to change something. I mean, they're only gonna change something if they see if it's not working. And then hopefully FIFA 19, then they'll do FIFA point bundles. I mean, it's something when I was it's something I suggested a long time ago to them. So hey, you know what? Hopefully
Maybe one day, man.
Maybe it's gotta end up that way, because again, nobody needs a pack 20 weeks from now. I need a pack now. I need a pack Neymar now, dude. Like, as in, like, I'm not gonna wait 20 weeks. So I think that's the way. I'll definitely buy that edition. I don't care. I just need FIFA points on discount.
Exactly, and that would make sense. I would be interested to see with their sales, like, if they put a discount on it, would they actually do the same, or if not better, because they're getting so many more people to buy in, and they're baiting people with that discount to go buy more. And everyone's in their head like, oh, this is such a good discount, I'm going to go drop now this much on FIFA points. So it'd be interesting to see revenue-wise kind of how they would do with that.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. And it's, I think it's a no. To me, it was a no-brainer at the time when I was telling them.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's got to be a reason why they haven't done that yet. That's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that there's a reason why everything's the way it is in FIFA.
Yeah.
It's either that to change it would tweak something to the system of Ultimate Team and balance some kind of system, so that's why they haven't done it. But there's always a reason why EA hasn't done something or keeps it the way something is.
Yeah. And then just moving on, man. Like, what? So with the Foot Live, I'm sure everybody watching this video, if you have not seen that, it's basically the thing. They did the live stream. They played the music for an hour before they did the live stream.
Yeah.
And then we finally got to know what was going on next year, and then we had to watch more music and more ads, and then we could finally figure out what was going on. A lot of new things going on this year. I'm going to ask you, what out of the new additions this year, SBC-wise or market-wise or just features in Ultimate Team, are you going to look forward to kind of not even just seeing but utilizing? Like, what do you think is something this year that you're going to really look forward to using that you didn't have last year?
I mean, icon stories is probably the biggest thing for me. I would say and I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna affect the market next year, because at the 3 versions of every icon.
Yeah.
So is it gonna be like
one of them, the highest one, right? Were they saying they were gonna put that one into packs or no?
So they said the two, the young and the old one, or the one that's not the two that are not the prime one are gonna be in packs.
Yep.
Then they're gonna release the prime one as Throwback Thursdays throughout the year. So it's like, I'm wondering what that does, because you saw the SBCs to get the prime, it needed one of the old versions, one of the young or the old or whatever version, to get the prime version. So it's like, all right, like I've been calling them like the baby version. So like Baby Henry.
Yeah.
Is he gonna be? He's left wing, right? All right, but is his price gonna be inflated because everybody's gonna be waiting? Because you need Baby Henry to get real Henry, So I don't know what's that gonna like. They should be cheaper, but they're not. Some of them like Ronaldinho. I mean, would you rather want him as the cam version? The cam version's not the prime one, but
it's
kind of want. I'd rather have the cam,
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be interesting to see.
Sorry.
I think it's gonna be interesting to see if there's like. Obviously, I don't know what goes on with the whole pack weight thing, right? But it's got to be something that's going on, because Team of the Year, it's impossible to pack some of those. I don't know. You have speculation, right? We all have speculation about it.
I'm not supposed to say.
No, and I know that. I'm not asking you to. I'm not doing any of that. What I'm saying is that I think it would be interesting, right, to see if sometime before. Or coming up to an SBC, if we see an influx of certain legends like his baby or his old, right, put onto the market. If we see on Twitter that one week everyone is packing legends or something, could it be related to maybe they're going to drop the prime We don't know, right? So it's
Yeah,
going to
you
be very
don't know.
interesting to see prices. We know nothing about that, but it would be interesting to see if one week they're being packed more than another, if we're getting closer to something. And it's just going to be interesting to see prices in general. As you said, man, like, are people going to be the first week, you know, hanging on to the worst legend in the game? I don't know who it's going to be. I would say this year, I don't even know who it was. There was a bunch that were discard.
DeBoer.
But it would be interesting to see, right, if, like, people are going to go crazy on those bad legends in the beginning of the game because maybe their prime one is pretty good. So they think that, you know, they're going to, or they're going to just be an investor like I am, and they're going to try to just sell it off and profit it when that one comes out. Because here's the deal. EA is going to have to somehow control the supply because they have to make everyone have the, because in SBCs things go extinct, right? Because everyone wants that piece of the SBC, and there's not enough supply, and there's so much, or the demand overrules the supply on the market, and it takes it over and it makes it extinct, and then EA has to upgrade the price range by a certain amount to level it out and let people get onto the market and buy it now, right? So that's going to be interesting to see how they do that, because I know legends in this game, right, they're pretty rare. If you look up any legend on the market right now, and if you did for the last few months, there's usually not more than, like, I would realistically say, now for the elite legends, right?
Pages.
Yeah, 2-3 pages. So it's going to be crazy to see what's going to go down next year with how many legends are actually on the game, on Ultimate Team, because when they release one of those SBCs, now what they may do, right, is what we were talking about last week in the podcast was that EA now we can kind of go into these brick slots, which is this new thing where they can control kind of the SBC's price.
Exactly, and I think that's why they did that option, honestly.
Exactly, because this whole year, and I was saying this the whole year when everyone was bugging out on Twitter like, EA is so evil, they made this price of this SBC so much. EA this whole year never made a price of an SBC. It's the people.
Yeah, we make the price of the SBC.
It's the demand of the people
us that
who
are trying
want
to
the
profit
card.
off the SBC. Set the price of the SBC. Like,
exactly, but
you know, it has very little to do with the EA. Actually, a lot of people don't realize.
Exactly, and I think I've been trying to get that out there more to people that now this year though, it is going to be a little different if they're implementing a brick slot to an SBC. It's going to be not only they're kind of determining the price, but it's going to be harder to, all the guys who are like, buy 86 informs. This is going to happen on Thursday with this SBC. Sun is going to require this and this and this, and this is a good investment, right? Now, next year, that kind of prediction is going to be so hard to make because they're going to be able to, in some SBCs. Well, here, now we have two variables, right? Now we have, is this SBC going to have a brick slot or no? That's what we need to think about, first of all. Like, is this one even going to have one, or how are we going to invest for this? And now when it's like, Jesus comes out and Musa comes out and it's 84s, is 1 week next year in footies, is 1 week at the end of FIFA, they're going to do, Jesus has a brick slot, but Musa doesn't. And then 1 week, your 84 investment for Musas are going up because 84s in general go up. But then 1 week is the brick slot Monaco, and only Gleek goes up and Subasic. So that's going to be really cool, I think, because it makes market unpredictability. And that's what I like, because I think people were starting to kind of not rig the market, but really start to understand. Too many people. I was getting uncomfortable. Too many people thought they were Wall Street market traders by the end of FIFA, and they thought they knew exactly what they were doing.
We were definitely trying to cheese the system. I mean, I was part of it too.
It's fun, man. No, it's all fun.
Yeah. Oh god, it's the most addicting thing. Like,
it's amazing.
Since like just the off the pitch part of FUT has always been my favorite part of FUT.
Yeah.
The fact that people see, it's a soccer game, and I'm like, no, dude, it's like it's like Wall Street, dude. Like, are you serious? And there's this whole world that nobody sees, and it's just like, oh my god, it's like since like I would still say even till this day, maybe FIFA 17 has balanced it off, but I've still probably spent more time on the web app than I have in the actual game. Luckily, 17, I thought the gameplay was a lot better, and I played a lot for the stream. But with the brick slots, I'm thinking that one, like you said, it's gonna add more unpredictability. I do know the SBC guy personally, and he'll like that. He doesn't like, he's a funny guy. He does like to mess with the community a lot, because honestly, when you work at EA, it's fun to mess with the people that make your life a living hell. At least that's the thing you get. You get to fuck with them every once in a while. Like, it makes us feel better inside. Trust me. Because for the rest of the day, you guys ruin our life. Well, I'm part of the people now. But, you know, so, dude, that guy will change things, like, last minute. I guarantee you. That guy can,
we know.
If he has enough time to care.
We know.
In his busy life, and you've seen it. You probably saw it at the start of the year, and less so at the end of the year, because he probably was just too busy. But yeah, like I said, like you were saying also, brick slots, that's an extra variable, and I think what you're gonna see is, for instance, you know, with the league SBCs, you know, like how people like Golden Bear and I were like, all right, well, they're gonna do a league SBC, so it requires every player or pretty much a starting 11 from every team in the league. Team. So there's that one Bundesliga right back in that one team. He's the only right back and he's silver. So how about I just buy a ton of him?
Exactly.
Right. So all right, you know what? Hey, brick slot for that. Screw you. You know what I mean? I think you're gonna see a lot of that, especially with the league SBCs. They can just brick slot. Like if there's that one player that has a chance of going extinct, because that's not like, because people don't realize us making, you know, the full on like cornering markets does not help them, because again, they have to worry about, is everybody having fun with the game? Because if like the Sydney FC situation, I bet you that changed a lot throughout the rest of the year, because it's not good for them that people can't complete features in their game. So they're gonna do whatever it's like. They're gonna skew more. They're gonna skew away from the people, the traders. Annoyingly, they're gonna have to skew away from the traders who are cornering markets, because that is not enjoyable for the rest of the FIFA scene, you know. So that's what they're gonna have to do.
And that's crazy you brought that up, because my head, I usually cover everything with market and all that, but I honestly didn't even mention the fact that they could use brick slots and league SBCs. I never even thought about that. All I was thinking about was these big time Ronaldo guys and them dropping that. But guys, like, at the same point, so the brick slots at some point, at some way, are going to determine the price of one of those legend guys, or the icon, sorry guys, but they're going to at some point probably help you too during league SBCs. Like, we got to think about it that way, where I think too many people are like, this company is trying out to get me in my life, and he's trying to ruin my life, right? The brick slots actually, in turn, when a guy's extinct and you can't snipe him you're sitting on your console the whole day trying to snipe a guy. If they put I never even thought about that. And whereas an investor who's going to try to buy up a whole right back and get a good return on investment, he's going to be the salty one. But listen, it's going to help so many people who couldn't do that SPC. I actually really like that, and I never thought about that. So that's actually like a big positive. Of brick slots. I'm very happy about that. I don't know why I didn't know that.
No, honestly, because I mean, that's the thing with EA is, like, I was sitting down and thinking about it. It's like, I mean, their goal is to have people have more fun with the game. Their goal is to have it be as much. I mean, not people get angry if I say this from a gameplay standpoint, but it's supposed to be an even play field. Everybody's supposed to have a chance to get POTM Lukaku. Everybody's supposed to have a chance to get POTM Ibra. That's it. You know, like people, I see a lot of people get mad about the, you know, the SEC requirements, stuff like that. It's like, EA, they have to put it at a certain, you know, because like, Ibra's OP, so you have to make it difficult. But then it's the people, it's the community that sets the price, you know? It's us that buy up all the players and try to resell them. It's about us. So with the brick slots, I think it's more of, for the general public, it's more of a positive, and I think it's their way. It's another. I think it's being presented as, you know, just like another variable, but I think it's really how they are going to have better control of their own market. And that sucks for traders, if I'm being honest with you. If you're making money off SBCs, I think that's gonna throw a wrench in your thing. But don't forget that you're a pretty small minority in the big scheme of this, and they can't cater to you.
I mean, their main users are, I mean, I would say that too. I would say the trading community this whole year has grown a ton to what it was before. You're seeing guys, you've never seen guys before, like, going crazy about these SBCs and all these investors. This has not been really a thing, right? It's been there's been guys like me and other guys, obviously Golden Ray, L-Dunk, who've been around trading with guys with high rated cards, all that shit for a while, right? So this is the first year where we have a lot of guys really learning in these streams and understanding kind of how the market is working on this game. So I would say that it's good news. That part of it is maybe not the best news, right, for investors and traders who especially are doing League SBC investing. But I think it's a good other thing to talk about is just the growth of traders and investors. And I think multiple times throughout the year we've seen, I don't know what they are. I don't know if I want to say they're game developers or if they're, I don't know, community guys on Twitter from EA. We've seen them multiple times throughout the year when they're getting not really complaints, but constructive criticism on maybe something that needs to be fixed or something within the market. I've never seen this many changes kind of to like the SBC panels or the market things or fixes this quickly in history, and it's just because I think of the actual demand of how many traders there are on Twitter constantly trying to make sure this game is where it should be.
I mean, it's a bit of both. It's like it's a bit of just EA's going they're going in the right direction in a game health standpoint.
Completely.
Like it's like the thing with EA and people in the community is like people don't realize that like they want to have a good game for you guys to enjoy, but it's like the community always acts like EA's trying to kill them, but it's just like a bunch of dudes. I mean, I used to work at EA. Look at me, I'm a dude, right?
Yeah.
I was the guy people were bitching about, but we're just dudes and we just want people to like have fun with stuff.
Exactly,
but then everybody thinks that we're trying to like ruin their life. So it goes both ways. It's like, you know, help us. It's like it was always like help us help you, but a lot of people didn't see it that way, and they're just like EA's evil. It's like, all right, I mean, you're talking about the whole component, but it's like, hey, we're a bunch of guys here trying to make the ultimate team nice. So I think 17 is probably the best thing to ever happen to FUT. You know, there are a lot of new guys who are working on Ultimate Team now. They brought in a lot of new voices, Gareth Reeder, John Shepard, those guys. You know, it's taking the right direction. I think they're more, and I think this has been a gradual thing. Is more they're getting better with admitting that they're wrong in certain situations. I know that's something back when I was working there, we were always bad at. Is just admitting you're wrong is a very hard thing to do, especially with a community like that. Because again, people don't realize, and if you're listening to this, you know, as much if you might hate EA, but the people behind it are still people, and it's humans, like, you know, if you like, let's say you go to the grocery store, you're being a dick to the guy or let's say you go to a fast food place, you know, and you're being a dick to the guy serving you. Yeah, he might spit in your freaking food, you know, because that guy's a person, you know. So would you act badly to somebody that, you know, provides something to you, you know, that kind of thing? Because that person's not going to want to go the extra mile for you if you're mean to them. So, hey, there's nothing wrong with criticism, but if it's constructive,
it just got to be constructive. It can't be like, you are the worst thing ever.
Exactly. Like, they're not trying to, like... People always used to act like we're trying to like empty your bank accounts. It's a business. You have to market it. They're promoting a thing. Like, if you think FUT is bad, you've not seen some freaking free-to-play games on mobile. That are literally trying to suck you dry. You don't have to spend a goddamn cent if you don't want to. They're not holding a gun at your head. Yeah, and the 17 has proved it more than anything. My subs have not paid a single cent. I spent about $5K in FIFA. They have better teams than me. You can't complain anymore. Just if you're saying, "Oh my God, EA's trying," shut up, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
I would say, like, I think. Listen, you could always trade to get a good team, but I think this year especially, you could go from being in the beginning of the game a novice trader to by the end of the game having a better super team than some people and becoming an expert trader. This year was such a good year for people to really understand different ways to make coins. This year presented so many different kind of...
it was easy as hell, yeah.
It was easy as hell, exactly. And that's what I think people aren't looking back on, right? There's so many people, right, who are... I'm not calling out people in my streams, but just for example, people in my streams, right? People in my streams with like 30 million coins, right? Or there's some guys who didn't know how to do anything last year, and there's some guys now with 28 million, and it's like, still some people are mad at EA, right? And it's like... You're sitting there with 28 million, right? You haven't spent $1 on the game. It's you've literally played the game for free besides buying and downloading the game like you would with any video game. It's just been so, like, it's actually been a really good year. And I think I'm just I'm anxious to like really just get going next year. I think in the beginning, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be super hectic. Obviously,
man.
the streaming. Obviously, you're going to have your hands full. I'm going to have my hands full. The market's going to be like so high. It's going to be out of this world. I think we might. I don't know. You know the numbers because you work at EA, but this could probably be maybe the most people ever on this game. I don't know if there was a peak on one FIFA or another, but it feels like to me like so many people played Foot 17. So I don't know.
I think maybe also that, but what's more important is I think people have probably spent 2 to 3 times as much time in the game than ever before.
Yeah.
And then the more time you spend in the game, the more money you spend. I think 17 is probably. I mean, again, I don't have access to the EA records like I used to. But I would say FUT 17 probably did almost twice as good as FUT 16 did, honestly, which is ridiculous. I've never seen this many people play the game for this long and still be engaged. Again, and you know the funny thing about FIFA? The funny thing about FIFA, it's still the best run sports video game out there.
Oh, completely.
It's I keep asking people on my stream, as much as you hate it, I mean, everybody will say, they say 2K, but which game do you play for 10 months straight on console that comes out every year? You might say 2K, but I'm sure there's still more people playing.
Yeah, but you don't play 2K religiously like Ultimate Team. Like, you don't, listen, here's what people need to understand with Ultimate Team, right? They literally, some people like, I know I do, for certain events, guys, you don't base your day around 2K. Exactly. We base our days on Ultimate Team. We say, this is dropping at my time zone at this time. Mom, school teacher, athletic coach, I need to step out at this time and get on my companion app. I need to be at home for this release.
It's like, hey, Mom, I need to wake up at 4 a.m. because Diego Costa needs to pee in a cup.
And she's coming downstairs, like, and you're on your thing at 4:30 a.m. because you live in, like, Iceland or some weird time zone where they're going to release something. I don't know. And it's crazy. Like, that doesn't happen in 2K. 2K, you're making, obviously, 2K is a great game. I'm not doing anything to that.
2K is a great game.
It doesn't have the same, what we talked about, the addictiveness as Foot now has.
Exactly. It's like, I mean, hopefully FUT gets to the level where it's like, you know, they put as much into it. EA puts as much into it as a Blizzard puts into Overwatch or something like that. That's what we need to strive for. But it's I mean, 2K has better modes and visuals. Maybe that's about it. Maybe not the visuals part. But even like FIFA's animations are miles ahead of any other sports video game. People don't realize how much the game has changed from FIFA 12 till now. It's actually ridiculous. It's just that we're so used to complaining. We're a big complaining community. We like to complain. I don't know if it's like because no offense to anybody watching from the UK, is that a UK centric thing to kind of just? I feel like that happens a lot in UK. People just complain for the sake of complaining. But funny enough, you guys think servers are bad? Have you seen the 2K servers? Have you really seen it? Have you seen the PES servers? You think we got bad servers?
Yeah, the 2K servers. That was
compared to any other sports game. Have you seen was it MLB The Show? I don't think online worked for like the first like month. Yeah. Or 2 weeks or something like that. You know.
And listen, they said they're gonna go out of their way, right? They said on that Foot Live, right? We have them saying they're gonna. You know, they went out of their way to put more servers around the world, put more strength into them. So obviously they've heard that, guys. It's something that, trust me, if they're working at EA right now, they know that there was the whole DC thing with Foot Champs. They know that that's something that they're going to work on. That's something they can do, and that's
I love how people act like I remember it was just some pro player was like going off on Rob like, oh, I can't believe you haven't told him about the disconnects. I'm like, dude, you think he really hasn't told them about the disconnects? You think nobody knows that? Yeah. Like, dude, you think nobody knows that? Honestly, anything that you see if you see something that hasn't been fixed, it's probably 10 times more difficult than you think it is.
Well, here's another example of like ways that I've kind of changed and become more like on the thinking of EA side people of it. I used to kind of be mad about it, right? I would never like publicly go out there and tweet at EA. You know, there's the guys who go full caps mode at EA Sports and they go crazy. Yes, I do. But listen, here's a good example.
Not gonna name and shame, but they know.
No. To the real life world, right? Any business, right? Any business where you have your whole business structure, they're not gonna be publicly disclosing what they're working on for next year, what they're gonna put out soon, what they're in development with, right? And I think the main reason why the whole community gets so mad all the time is because we don't see these guys tweeting out what they're working on every day. And that's not how it should be. They're working at work. You know, they're kind of like, that's something they're doing at work. That's what their job is to do. To listen, to fix it, to improve, to do change. So I think that's a good comparison to the real life world. Like, you don't see these multi-million-dollar major corporations, companies in the real world, like putting out on Twitter every day, hey, this is what we're doing today. We're fixing this and this. Maybe they say that they're working on this, right? But there's no like exclusive details. So I think it's a little foolish, which I used to do, which I wanted to kind of rely on them to be tweeting out all these things that they're working on, you know?
Yeah, it's I mean, I agree. I feel like, I mean, coming from the days when I was there, I mean, I don't think we tweeted enough. I mean, I tried to, but the thing with tweeting about an issue, shout out to Dunans and Dragons, by the way. You do not want that guy's job at EA. That guy is the guardian of the servers, I used to call him. The thing with, it's like a lot of people always wonder why people at EA don't tweet. I mean, it's a lot of pressure because it's like, you can say, like, this is how I used to feel when I used to try and update people on what's going on. Yeah. Sometimes I wouldn't want to because this is how it goes through your head. It's like, anything can change. I can tweet out something's like, it's almost done, but then literally, like, in games, things change so quickly. I could say that, oh god, hey guys, it's gonna be fixed soon. And then, like, 2 minutes later, something could go wrong. And it's not going to be fixed for another 2 hours. Like, that literally has happened to me so many times. So it's like, am I going to say it's nearly done or we're doing something, or am I just going to wait until it's fixed? You know? Because it's like, it's depressing because it's like, if you say something, like something's about to be fixed, 2 minutes later, or, you know, you say, oh my god, guys, it's going to be fixed in an hour. An hour comes, it's not fixed. People will send you some death threats. Yeah. People will just nobody's supposed to be taking that kind of abuse in life in general, which is another reason why I was just like, why am I doing this? A bunch of
exactly, man.
My day's being ruined because a bunch of 50-year-old like kids from Europe and NA are
NA traders are better.
NA traders are better. I mean, EU, you guys run the pitch, we run the market, whatever.
Exactly.
Get over it. Why is my day ruined? Because I'm the messenger of something that's out of my control. Yeah. So agreed, man. When that goes through your head, you're letting down millions of people when you tweet if something goes wrong. Yeah. So sometimes I'm just like, I'm not even gonna tweet. Let me just wait till it's done. But then they get mad at you for not tweeting. Exactly. So it's like it's like this two things. It's like, so that's why, hey, Dunans and Dragons, you know, I mean, if he's tweeting, you know, just know what he's going through. Hey, what he's speaking. Because sometimes I'll just be like, you know what, I just don't feel like look, hey, I'm going for a date tonight. You know, I don't want some kids in England to be ruining my date. Yeah. So, you know what? So it's like, but like, it's your job. I was like, it's not my job to be like depressed and shit. You know. Yeah. Exactly. So it's like I remember in price ranges when that was going on. You know, it's people like, you know, all the abuse. Like some of my coworkers at EA, like, cause you know the ones that are not used to seeing the community on Twitter. You know, they started looking at Twitter and I was like, Chew, like, you know, oh my god, like, you know, you could take like. They're like, you know, you could take like a leave of absence, you know, for like, you know, abuse, you know, if you feel like you've been abused too much. I'm like, dude, that's Tuesday in FIFA, man. Whatever, dude. Like, are you serious? That's what's getting you bothered, you know? No, because to people who are not in this community, like, no, you're not supposed to take that kind of thing. Like, it's so, you know, I think that's why a person doesn't really tweet as much as they should. I mean, but I think they've done a lot. They've done a really good job this year. I really like.
Yeah, I would commend them. I love the changes, and I think people in life, right? We talked about this earlier. We'll wrap up the podcast now, but people in life are always hesitant for change. It's everywhere in life, right? Some people really don't like change, but usually when it goes down or something, it's for the better. Obviously, these changes right away. Some people are. I think the support from the Foot Live, everyone was pretty excited. Oh yeah, I think regarding just the whole card design, and now we see that people are like, you see on your feed, wow, these are beautiful now. I think just the whole change thing, you got to accept it. And I think I'm looking for some really positive change in FIFA 18, and I think it's so exciting right now. It's like August, beginning of August right now, and like I can't even wait, man. I don't remember the last time. I think basically last time what happened to me last summer was like, it was like May or June. early, and I was like, oh, 18 is like 4 months away. Now it's like, it's probably like under 50 days now away.
Yeah, I think it's like
and
40
we made it this
days
far.
now.
Yeah, with this far was 17, man. So it's been a really good year, man. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, sharing your wisdom,
No problem.
talking some market, talking some everything, man. It was a good all around podcast. I had fun, man. I appreciate you having come on. I think a lot of my guys in my stream. I was wondering, so this is how I got you on, man. One, I really like your content, all your stuff. I respect you a lot. And two is I asked in my stream, guys, like, who do you guys want to see? 150 guys stream. A lot of them were like, ChuBoi. So you know what? We got you in here. Thank you for coming on, man. Any last thing you want to add?
Oh, I mean, thanks to the guys that asked for me. I mean, again, I still don't. I'm a very weird YouTuber streamer. I still don't get why people like me yet. If that's if that sounds weird, I still don't get it. But thank you. It's a weird thing that I don't connect with yet. But yeah, shout out to all the people in the stream that want to be on the podcast, you know. And yeah, like I said, FIFA 18, the hype is real. FIFA's going in the right direction. So shout out to all the guys at EA for putting their. Shout out to Rob Hodson as well, who works at EA, putting FIFA in the right direction.
Man.
People you don't see,
yeah,
that are making the wheels turn, man. Trust me. And then yeah, I just want to pack Ronaldo next year and get that walkout. So I'm just
and that wants to watch Neymar.
Yeah, and wants to watch it, but Ronaldo for the walkout.
True.
Ronaldo
That's so sick. The animations, man.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Right? So yeah.
All right, man. Well, I'll put his links in the description, guys. If you guys are somehow not following this dude already, great guy. If you guys did enjoy the video, you guys know what to do. Hit the thumbs up button. And we'll see you guys next week for next episode. Peace out.